Let's go!
Welcome into Behind the Brand podcast. I'm Adam Hayes. To my right is my co-host, Bob Payton. And our guest today is Angie Stocklin. Welcome in.
Welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah,
So you've got quite an entrepreneurial journey.
I do. It was long.
Yeah.
It was long.
Well, let's start at the beginning. How'd you get started with it?
Well, so I went to college and graduated with a psychology degree and then became a school psychologist.
Okay.
So-
that always leads to entrepreneurship.
Right, I know.
Yes, always.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Business was not in my future. It was not an option that I even gave myself. It was an accidental thing, which people are like, how in the world did you accidentally
Oh,
right.
become an
Yes.
entrepreneur?
Many have.
Yes. But my first husband, Randy, was an entrepreneur. He still is an entrepreneur. It just bleeds out of his body. He was the one that had like perpetual yard sales in college and other like money inducing endeavors
Right.
that we won't mention.
Any
on
way
the
to turn a
podcast.
buck.
Right. Any
Right.
way to make money. And so we kind of accidentally started doing nerdy things like building websites in our free time. And realized that we had very complementary skills. He's very visionary. I'm very detail oriented. So he was the dreamer and I was the doer. And we accidentally launched a business out of our house and we loved it. It was so much fun. The first business that we ever made money doing was called mailfromsantaclaus.com. And it was an affiliate website.
Okay.
So we got $5 for every letter that we sourced from a guy, for a guy in Santa Claus, Indiana. He was the
wow.
one. Yeah. Did you not know this
I
story?
didn't know that.
No.
Oh, that's interesting.
So he was the one that put the letters together, mailed them out from Santa Claus, Indiana.
Yeah.
And this would never fly these days, but we built the website, did all the marketing, and then the last step of the process, it would switch to his website. So he captured all the payment and then
Okay.
would just
Oh,
shoot us.
interesting.
I know, right? It would never
Right.
fly today. But we got $5 for every letter we sourced, made $2,000 our first season.
Woohoo.
Thought that was the coolest
Yeah.
thing ever.
You're like, oh, we're onto something.
Real
Caught
money.
the
Yeah.
bug big
Yeah.
time. We loved looking at analytics, figuring out where our traffic was coming from, looking at our conversion rate. And then we were like, okay, now what? Because, Christmas
Right.
is 12 months from now. And so we found, we looked at a whole host of other businesses. It feels, in my memory, it was really long, but in reality, it was probably 6 weeks. Decided to buy a sunglasses brand from a guy in Florida. It was discount sunglasses, and he had just had a baby. His wife was like, please get this out of our house. We bought the website, none of the inventory, and just like
took it over.
started to figure out how to do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So luckily Randy was a software engineer, so we had some reliable skills. But for the most part, we just taught ourselves everything from the ground up, kept our full-time jobs. So we were working nights and weekends on the project, which allowed us to turn a profit pretty quickly. And then it just kept growing.
And I remember seeing pictures because I've known Angie a long time.
Yeah.
So of your, you had inventory on your dining room table,
We did.
living room, the I call it the prototypical garage story, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's cool. So you didn't buy the inventory. Did I pick that up right?
We didn't buy his inventory. We started from scratch.
Okay.
there. Yeah.
And then so you started developing your own relationships with manufacturers? Or did you establish your own brand, or how did that work?
Later. We did later. Yeah.
Okay.
So at first we just bought from wholesalers that we could find online. Like that was as much knowledge as we had.
Right.
And then we took a huge chance and went to a trade show in Las Vegas. Now, when I think about it, like that was such an easy decision. But
Right.
for us then, it was a really hard decision because it was expensive.
Yeah.
Right.
Time, money.
Yeah, it was such an investment, but it paid off.
Did you go as attendees or exhibitors or both?
Attendees.
Okay.
Yeah. And we found a whole host of companies that we ended up working with for more than 10 years.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, at that first show. And then figured out that we could buy things with, greater margins and,
Better terms.
better terms. Terms, we probably figured out terms a little bit later, but that was something
Another cost of education.
yeah,
is what you're
right.
saying?
That
Yeah.
wasn't super obvious to us at first. But yeah, eventually we started manufacturing and designing our own goods.
Oh,
and kind of
really?
went straight to the source. Yeah.
Oh, very cool.
And
Yeah.
who designed?
We had people on our team
Okay.
that
nice.
designed. And then we used a lot of the talent at like the factory level to help us with that too. Yeah.
Sure.
Like the designer's got a really cool design and the manufacturer's
Yeah,
like,
we're not doing that. Yeah.
we can
Yeah.
get close, but we can't do that exactly.
Or like that mold will be $12,000.
Yeah.
And we would say, we don't want it that much. Yeah.
The zero gravity ones won't sit on the face, right?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
So what was it like when that, I'll call it, when you really, I'll ask it a different way.
Mm-hmm.
When did you know all of a sudden that, holy crap, this is like really taken off, right? What did that feel like at the time?
So I've thought about this question a lot because I feel like there were different points in time where we looked at each other and thought, okay, this is a real business, right?
Yep.
Like the first time we hired somebody who wasn't a family member,
That'll do
that felt like a real business. The first time that we offered insurance to our employees, that felt like a real business.
Yeah, you're getting serious now.
Right? The first time that we got shirts, the matching shirts for everyone to wear, like that feels silly, but that felt like a real business.
Yeah.
Like, so I'm not really sure. I mean, eventually, like we both quit our jobs and we committed to trying it full time.
Yeah.
But you're still taking a risk, you know,
Yeah,
every
of course you
day.
are.
Every day. You're like doubling down on the investment you've already made
Right.
to try to grow it bigger. And so like you're continuing to make that investment and that risk every day. Yeah.
Wow. So what years was this when in that time frame? Just
We started in the Santa Claus letter business in late 2005.
okay.
We sold in 2018. So there was a big delta
So
there.
13 years.
Yeah. So we stayed in our house for about a year and a half. That's when I quit my job, started hiring people at that point in time. And then, you know, at the time it feels fast, but when you look at the time period, it was pretty slow growth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So even did 08, 9, and 10 kind of the housing crash affect you at all?
It didn't really. We got really
That's
lucky
interesting.
because of the industries that we were in. They were we were selling discount sunglasses and discount reading glasses, and so $15 to $20 frames. We had some other brands too, but for the most part, those brands were pretty recession proof because people were like,
Inexpensive.
they
sure.
couldn't pay
buy them all the time.
$250 anymore,
Yep,
and so
sure.
they were coming to us instead. So it actually helped.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Cool. So when you bought the discount sunglasses, did you essentially buy a domain name with existing traffic? Is that what you did?
We did, in the customer list. Yeah.
Nice.
Awesome.
Yeah. We had $20,000 in our savings account.
Yeah.
Because we had built our budget
Yeah.
to buy a business or build one. And we spent $10,000 on the domain and then the other 10 on marketing and like redesign and product.
Right.
Yeah.
What'd you use back then? Was it WooCommerce or Shopify wasn't around yet, was it?
Not, no.
It's all home built.
We used the relic Yahoo store.
Wow. That is
Do you remember
relic.
Yahoo store?
Oh God, that was the rat's nest of e-commerce.
It was awful.
It was horrendous.
It was really, really awful. Yeah, it was Yahoo store. And then we ended up, eventually we started using Xcart.
Okay.
Open source PHP, and then we built all of our sites, and we just kept them on Xcart until we sold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's a nice, fast platform too.
Yeah.
Or it was at the time. I don't know
It was
if
really
it's even
flexible.
still around.
I mean, if I was doing it today, I would go with Shopify and
Sure.
figure it out. But yeah,
Yeah, they've
Skip
got
up.
all the tools now.
Yeah.
but it did not exist.
So do you think if you, let's say, speed back
Mm-hmm.
in that first 2 or 3 years, if that was now, would it survive in today's world?
I
You
don't
think?
know. I mean, that was really before brands had figured out digital marketing.
Right.
And so this will probably surprise you because if you shop in 2026 and you Google sunglasses, there are no small brands that show up.
Correct.
But we were number 1 or number 2 for sunglasses for a period of probably 3 years.
Right.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
Because
It's
the
a big deal.
big boys, Amazon, maybe not even in the realm.
No, absolutely not.
Right.
Yeah. That was pre all of that.
Yeah.
I think JCPenney may have been the first one that started like challenging us, but even Sunglass Hut hadn't figured it out.
Right.
Yeah. So
Totally.
no,
Yeah.
you might be able to do it today, but it would look completely different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Shady Rays wasn't on the scene yet.
I think I remember Shady Rays.
Were they on the scene back
I feel
then?
like it. I don't know.
Okay.
I've forgotten a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the Sunglass Hut, at least during my days,
That
this
was
a long
big.
time ago.
Yeah.
It was all retail
but
kiosks in
There
the
was
mall.
no digital presence.
No,
No.
none at all.
No, they were all digging their heels in the sand, thinking that it wasn't going to actually
Right.
stick around.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So, if you don't mind sharing, what was the exit like? I mean, what did it feel like?
What led to
But,
the
yeah, what
exit,
led
too?
to it? How did you
Yeah.
kind of make that decision?
So in 2016, we were actually in Hong Kong at a trade show, like during the election. And it was such an interesting experience being like in China,
Oh yeah.
you know, and when that happened, and in Hong Kong. But the world felt very uncertain. We'd been doing it for a long time at that point, right? Like over 10 years. And again, every day that you wake up, you're like investing what you've already done
Yeah.
and
this
hoping
gonna
that it's going to
pay?
be more. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there was talks of recession and trade wars, which actually, ended up happening, the tariffs like this time around. And it just felt like, is it worth continuing to risk this? This was our retirement. It was our life's investment. We had, I don't know how many people at that point in time, 70 or 80 people. Right.
Really?
Yeah.
Man,
that relied
I'm learning
on
all kinds of
that
things.
relied on us to
Yeah.
feed their families. And it's a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if we weren't going to maintain our profitability because we were bootstrapped,
Yep.
not really a fundable type of business, like that was just a lot of pressure. And all of a sudden we were like, what would it be like to take money off the table? Or to have somebody like back us that has bigger pocketbooks that could help us grow
to
faster.
really
and-
push.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And grow to the next level.
So that's what
So
led us.
if you would have stayed in the business and had that, backup investment, what do you think the next
Right.
play would have been?
Yeah.
To go from 14 or 15 million in revenue, maybe with 70 employees, that's probably about, is that where you were close to?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then
Good guess.
what would the next layer up be? And what did you feel like you needed investment to get to the next level to do?
So the next level in ecom at the time was like 25 million. And then it was 100 million.
Okay.
So it would have been figuring out how to like increase our market share. Reading glasses at that time was actually our biggest brand. We had 3 brands: reading glasses, sunglasses, and prescription eyewear. Reading glasses was by far the biggest, but a lot of those customers weren't shopping online still. So we had just started in 2017. We started advertising on TV, and that was really interesting.
Really?
Yeah, and it was expensive,
Yeah.
but it paid off.
It paid off.
Yeah. Our growth rate went, we just talked about this in class the other day, but our growth rate went from like 20% year over year to 40% year over year.
Yeah, that's
with the addition
substantial.
of
Yeah.
TV advertising. So I think we would have continued to push down that path. We weren't really interested in the wholesale game because, companies like Foster Grant had that
Right.
covered.
Yeah.
That wasn't our expertise. And potentially branching off into other like eyewear adjacent or related products.
Right.
Yeah.
So when you created your own product, did they carry the Discount Sunglasses name? Or did you brand them as, a certain thing like Warby Parker or whatever?
They were branded as our like URL, our domain name, which was Sunglass Warehouse and
Okay.
readers.com.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So during that, time when you started to mull, right? What did you do then? I mean, literally, was it phone calls, right? I mean, how did you get from the idea of exiting to
exiting? Yeah.
Just curious.
So this was late 2016.
Yeah.
We took a couple of weeks to think about it. Once we decided that, yes, this was something we wanted to do, we started making phone calls to local folks that had sold businesses in the last few years. Like, who did you use? What was the process like?
Right.
And then once we had a list of like people we needed to talk to, like banks we should interview,
Sure.
we started interviewing banks. We interviewed, I don't remember, like 5 or 6 different ones. We found an eyewear specific one. And then we started the process from there. So that was probably, by the time we chose a bank and started the process, maybe it was March of 17.
Nice. And then?
Yeah. And then,
Because, we talk about this in class. It's, we haven't talked about, we'll talk about what we do at Purdue, but this is, this moment is what most of the kids ask about, right? All the other stuff, they kind of don't get it per se, but then it's like, okay, at some point you have to kind of commit,
yeah.
right? You almost just have to commit to go.
Yeah.
And what that's like, right? So,
Yeah. So once we picked a bank, then we talked with them about strategy. Like, what does this look like? We've been profitable for several years, well, most of our existence really. And so we were trying to figure out, like, do we prioritize growth moving forward? Do we prioritize profit? Like, who's going to be most interested in us?
Right.
We ended up riding the fence, to be honest. That was the strategy we chose, but we worked with them on like, who are potential buyers? We had a huge list of like dream buyers and like realistic buyers. And then they started hitting the pavement and saying like, are you interested in this company?
Right.
And then anybody that was interested, we had management calls with.
Yep.
If they were still interested, we brought them to Indy and did management presentations. Of course, like this is a long timeline. I'm shortening it up a little bit, but management presentations, those were 3-hour presentations before Q&A.
Ooh.
I know. They were brutal.
Lots of coffee.
Yeah. Well, and I was in China for a couple of them, so I was like getting up in the middle of the night to join the call. This is like before Zoom was super popular, right? And then we ended up with 2 companies that were super interested. So we had first bid, and then we went back to them and said, this is what we need. worked on it. We had both of them bid a second time. We picked one of the bids, and then we started due diligence.
Gotcha. Nice.
And that completed the sale? That one did?
How long did due diligence take?
It was painful.
Yes. That's what I tell people.
It was painful. We had done audits with our own accounting firm just to make sure that we were in the clear, right? Which was painful in itself. But those were people on our team. But I always tell my students too, like, they did not want to joke with me. Like, I was trying to be friendly and funny, and they just kept staring at me. Like,
that's not what I'm asking.
Yeah.
We don't care, right?
This is not funny. This is accounting.
Yeah.
And so we'd already done that, which was helpful, but it didn't really help. I think it took about 6 months.
Wow.
But high level, the company that bought us was Foster Grant. They're owned by Essilor, which is a public company.
Right. Yeah.
And Essilor and Luxottica were in the process of merging.
I was going to ask you if it was a Luxottica company.
Yeah. They were in the process of merging,
right?
which $6 billion and $7 billion at the time. It was a way more important deal than ours. And so ours just kept getting shoved to the bottom of their to-do list. That's one of the reasons it took so long.
Sure.
Yeah.
Which is, another one of those challenges that you don't even think about until you're there, right?
Yeah. And so we closed the deal in July, and we weren't even allowed to announce it until like November, I think.
Wow.
Yeah.
Until they sorted their stuff. Yeah.
When did your employees find out?
Some of them found out along the way. It was kind of like need to know.
Right. They're like, what is all this that's going on?
Why are these people with suits walking through?
Right.
Yeah.
Which is something that I don't know that we talk about a lot, but we were a very transparent company. We did open book finance, which means we shared all of our finances from, all the way down to cash.
Top line. Yeah.
And so it felt very disgenuine to have this huge secret
and not tell
them about it. But you also don't want to get people in a tizzy because it could fall through at any time.
Yep. So they go through all the angst and nothing happens.
Yeah.
Right. And then they said, I'm frustrated. I'm leaving. They're not going to be around, blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
So it was a bit of a protection mechanism, but it felt awful.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've had a client say he felt like he was lying to his employees, and I had to say, you're not lying. You're not disclosing information that honestly is not their business. It's your business. It's not theirs.
Yeah.
So there's a fine line between the two of those.
But it could also contribute
kill the deal.
to, their emotional anxiety as well.
Yeah.
All for naught, because the whole deal can still fall through.
Right.
It's like,
exactly.
Yeah.
And then where are you?
Correct.
Right? If
then
it did fall through and they knew and they were anxious about it.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we let people in that we needed their help with things.
Yeah.
Like the guy that did our analytics software, finance person, like obviously we needed his help.
Right.
Eventually we needed to let our tech person know. So we brought people in as needed. And then eventually a couple weeks beforehand, we told our leadership team so they would have time to process and digest.
Right.
But I was really surprised, like when we told the company, like they didn't know.
No big surprise?
It was a big surprise.
It was. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
It was a big surprise. We had people that were excited, people were confused, and some people were devastated.
Yeah, I imagine.
Sure.
Yeah.
So was there a lot of retention in the migration over to Foster Grant?
Yeah, that was one of the things that we heavily negotiated that ended up working out is nobody was going to get cut.
Yeah.
For reduction.
For some period of time, I'm sure that's not forever.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. But for like the 2 year, we had a 2 year earn out and they promised no redundancy. Like,
nice.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That means you had a strong business even after going through due diligence. Right?
It was painful.
So, yes, of course.
So at the end of your 2 years came into 2020.
That's what I was going to ask. Yeah.
It's a great question. So I had Rainey and I had and our CFO, Eric, had 2 year contracts. I didn't last. After a few months, I sent a message and said, can you please let me out of my contract?
Right.
Rainey can have my earn out. And they said, yes. And so I left. But Rainey did stay for the full 2 years, and it did hit, in 2020. And that was painful.
I bet.
Yeah. Because sales were up tremendously.
Right.
But they weren't allowed to do the work.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's tough.
Yeah.
So, but even imagine though, if you'd started 6 months or a year later, right?
Yeah.
And so that's not good.
Yeah.
So
I was a little happy that I didn't have to deal with that, but I still felt bad.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. But business was great.
But it's not like you can, hey, gee, there's probably going to be 2020. It's going to be a COVID year, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So what was pressuring on you that you wanted out? What was that like?
The, obviously due diligence was long and we had plenty of opportunity to ask a lot of questions, which we did, but I don't know that we followed up as much to make sure that what I had an interpretation of what they said clearly wasn't what they meant. So like part of the negotiation was that we would operate as a separate entity. It was their idea. They had done other acquisitions too. We were in Indiana, they were in Rhode Island. So it just made sense. So they said, you'll operate as normal. So I took that as we would operate as normal. And then first day, they were like, let's make sure that we start this transition to get all of your products moved over to our factories. And I said, what?
How is that operating as normal?
Thank you.
Right.
So I didn't ask enough questions.
Yeah.
I didn't ask enough questions. What does that mean to you? Right.
Yes.
Didn't think I needed, anyway.
Sounds like what they meant is they're going to operate as normal.
Right.
Yeah. And they said things like, we love your culture. Like this is a great, and then made a lot of decisions that didn't reflect that.
It's not yours anymore. Right? And that's the hard part.
Yeah. And I was having a really hard time hiding my frustration from my team members. And I was honestly just being toxic to them. Like if I was there, they were not going to be able to get on board.
Yeah. Because they're still looking to you, despite the fact you don't own the business anymore.
Absolutely. I was still their boss and they deserved to have a leader that was like bought in with the vision, and I just wasn't.
Right.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Using that as an example of things you learned, if you had to tell somebody else who's about to go through this process, number one or two things that just out of all of that, what did you walk away with that you just wish we would have, could have, type of thing?
I think there were some things that we knew were important and we negotiated those fiercely. Okay. And there were other things that I think I just trusted would work out and didn't ask enough questions and didn't say like, how do you see this working?
Operational things almost.
Yeah. And leadership decisions, because, I was led to believe that a lot of decisions would still be ours, and some of them were, right? But not all of them. Yep. So I just think there were things they didn't see as important and I saw as important, and we just didn't talk about it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So I think that you can't get everything you want in a negotiation. Well, some people might be able to. Rarely can you get everything you want in a negotiation.
Stuff.
So you got to figure out what is most important and what can you live with.
Nice. Good. So post-exit, right? You take a breath.
Yeah.
You get kind of all the stuff away from you. What was that even like for you? Did you have real trouble just not being the owner? And the business is done, right? Or on your side, it's kind of somebody else's. Now you're sitting at home on the couch. What's that like?
It was awful because they were still operating as normal, right? I just wasn't part of it anymore. Right. But I was still very connected to what was going on. People were still
texting you.
Yeah. And then because Randy and I were married, so at the time, I was still had.
Oh, that's right. You exited before him, in essence, right?
Yeah. So I was like, hey, so-and-so needs this. Can you figure this out? And so it just wasn't great. And I also probably knew a little bit of how involved my identity was in our business, but it was that I didn't have a lot of, I don't know, you don't have time for hobbies.
Right.
I have time for hobbies now, but I didn't necessarily then. I didn't take the time. And so I had to go through this grieving process, honestly. It involved therapy and who am I if I'm not a founder? Right. And I guess I still am. I'll always be a founder, but I'm not currently a leader of a company.
You're an exited founder, right?
Yeah, but it's just different.
It's different.
Who needs me? What do I like to do in my free time?
Right.
I didn't know the answer to any of these questions. So I was I wasn't ready to start another business. Maybe I will never be ready to start another business. But I had to think about what did I love about my job there? What did I love about being at One Click, and what did I not love, and could I figure out what those things are so that I could go fill those buckets up? That's why I kind of called them. It's my buckets. Yeah. And then I just started my road show, which is connecting with people I hadn't seen in a lot of years and saying how are you? Let's get coffee. And I was doing 2 to 3 coffees and lunches a day.
Oh, my world now.
Which is my full-time job. Yeah. And then till COVID hit, and then that kind of halted, and I was like, okay, I got to figure out what to do.
Right.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
So what was that process like then?
Figuring out what to do.
Yeah. Did you have help doing it?
No.
Or you just self-taught type of thing?
I literally made lists and thought about my buckets and what could fill these. So I looked at being a coach. I looked at being a consultant. Yeah. I even looked at going to classes to be a certified coach, talk to coaches, thought about teaching, which is what I ended up doing. Yep. I thought about working for a nonprofit because I thought that could be interesting, that would feel value-based. I thought about creating a digital product and selling it because I knew how to do that.
Right? Sure.
So there were lots of things that I kind of thought about. Yeah. And Natalie ended up calling our boss during COVID and said, do you want to teach? And I was like, yes,
sure.
I need something to do. Let's do it.
Why not?
Yeah.
So you've been doing that since 2020.
Mm-hmm.
So right.
Yes.
That's interesting because this is 26, so I started in 22.
Mm-hmm.
So you'd had 2 years in, and we went through the whole mask thing. Oh my goodness.
Yes.
That was awful.
Yeah. So I taught online. Yeah. My first class was online.
Right.
And I'd never been to anybody else's class before.
Right.
And then I started in the fall.
Interesting.
With masks. Yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Shout out to Natalie. So she hired us both, I guess. So it's a nice, I call it the other side of the coin of the day, right? Of daytime activity. We're dealing with owners and people in the real business world, and you're dealing with kids who know not much, but are really smart,
so smart,
and have some really cool ideas.
Yeah.
And so you get to flip back and forth, which is really cool.
Yeah.
So,
It's just, I feel like it's one way to stay connected to entrepreneurship and to the community, and a way to give back. And I think as I was a founder, and because Randy and I were married and we did a lot of like activities together in the community, there were a lot of times where people would, be like, what's it like to work for Randy?
You're like, what'd you say?
Yeah, like the patriarchy is alive and well, right? And
can we change the word with?
Right.
Yeah.
So he was really good about correcting the record, but I was like, there aren't a lot of people that
of course,
look like me, or we just need a more diverse group of founders in this world. And so why not start at a younger level and say, you can do it too? Like, why not you?
Yeah.
So
which is the fun part of what we do, right?
For sure.
Yeah. And you teach down at the Indianapolis campus for Purdue now, which is brand new, right?
Brand new, yep.
Kind of startup in some ways for Purdue, which is interesting. What's that been like, right?
It's been really fun. I think the campus is very different. It's like working at a small college, but at a big university.
Yeah, with the brand, but one building.
And the students are super diverse. Like half of my classes are international students, which is really fun. So it leads to great discussion and a lot of things that I'll be like, this is how it works. And they're like, that's not how it works in my country. I'm like, all right, let's talk about it.
All right, yeah. Well, that's an interesting discussion then.
Yeah. It is.
And I'm envious that you're in Indy, because I think Indy, I've watched some of your posts, right? Because we don't talk anymore because we're not at Purdue, or at Lafayette. And I've noticed that your interactions with startups in Indy is much more, easily accessible because it's there. Versus being in West Lafayette, right?
Yeah.
So that's really neat to watch.
It's been really nice because we can actually go on field trips.
Right.
Yeah. And show students.
Versus just a coffee shop across the street.
Yeah. Like, what does it look like behind the scenes?
Yeah. That's pretty neat. Nice. What's next? What's next for Angie? I know you're an investor. Let's talk about.
Yeah. I have 9 angel investments currently, and I have money in some funds too, but those are pretty hands off.
Sure.
Yeah. So that's
anything exciting out of those 9 that's bubbling?
Let's see. I don't know. It's hard to know, right?
You never know.
Now you're on the other side, right?
Yeah, but we have my husband Jeff and I have a couple of investments that we're like really excited about. One of them is Homefield Apparel, who is a local collegiate apparel shop.
Okay.
And so they've been growing rapidly and got a lot of press during the national football run recently because Connor is an IU grad. Connor and Krista are both IU grads. And another is called Flow Vision. They do machine learning to help meat processing plants reduce waste and save cost.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's niche-y.
It's very niche-y. Yeah.
So how do these, materialize? How do the opportunities that you evaluate materialize? And then do you have a criteria that you've kind of established for it?
Yeah, good question. I'm definitely not like a prolific investor, right? I only have 9, and the first one was probably...
That sounds like a lot.
Most people have none.
That sounds pretty prolific to me.
It's not my full-time job, let's say that. People are like, how do you find your deal flow? And I'm like, I'm not actively looking necessarily.
Right. It's organic.
It's mostly organic.
Yeah.
Oh, there's another one too, Compact Medical. They actually they've been in business for 10 years and just got FDA clearance and working on revenue for the first time, which is pretty exciting. Yeah. So a lot of them I found through the Generator program, the G-Beta Mentor Swarms and Investor Swarms. which have been really fun. But then once you've given money to a couple people, your name comes up again and again.
Of course.
Yeah.
Word of mouth.
Yeah.
That's good.
So I don't necessarily, I've worked on my investment thesis, if you will, and I don't have a set criteria, but because we're in Indianapolis, and although this is changing rapidly, marketing SaaS has always been well-funded. And so we've kind of stayed away from the companies that have been well-funded by other people and tried to find opportunities that aren't necessarily getting funded in Indianapolis that we believe in.
Sure.
I'm definitely a founder first investor. So I like to invest in founders that are scrappy and determined, and you think they're going to do anything to make it happen.
Doesn't matter what they do.
Yeah.
That's nice. Personal. What do you enjoy doing now?
Well, I like to read. Yeah, I didn't read for a lot of years because I didn't have a lot of time. But the last few years, I've read around 90 books each year. I know, so I love that.
90. I don't think I've read 90 books in my life. Maybe 10 or 20. 90, wow. Well, I'd take that back. That's probably not true.
I bet you've read more than 20.
My wife looked at my bookcase and so probably you're correct. But in a year though, wow.
Yeah.
What do you like to read though?
I love to read fiction books. Yeah. I'll listen to a great memoir. Those are the only audiobooks that I like to listen to. Otherwise, I like to read. Nice. Yeah, so I'm a fiction reader. Love to travel.
Yes.
Yeah, we're getting ready to go on a trip to Europe for a few weeks, so that'll be fun.
Nice.
And I have a 3-year-old at home, so that's always fun. Yeah.
Are they going with?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And my mom and stepdad.
Cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
What are you looking forward to most about that trip?
We're going to stay for about a month, so I think it'll be nice to just unplug from Indianapolis and see new places and
eat new food.
Yeah. We're doing mountains, beach, and city.
Okay, so that's you've got a circuit already laid out.
I do. Yeah. I was like, yeah, of course.
Nice.
Yeah.
Viking ship in there somewhere?
No Viking
tours?
ships. No.
Okay.
No, we're going in May, so no Viking ships.
Viking tours.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And then my husband, Jeff, has recently started a rock band. So they released their first album, and I've been diving into managing their social media, which has been interesting. So releasing in the digital age, in the age of Spotify and Apple Music, is just different.
Yes.
Yeah. It's just different.
It's prolific, and the number of new songs out every day is in the millions of new songs every day.
Wild. Yeah. And then we have the age of AI, and that's huge for music. And so I, figured out TikTok, which I've never done before. And
it's one thing to have the distribution system turned on its head with streaming, and it's another thing to have the supply chain turned on its head with AI.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's really wild.
It's very wild. It's definitely changing. Yeah. But there's been quite a bit of backlash.
Which is good.
Because what do you mean backlash?
Backlash meaning that at least the people that I know really want to get back to real human emotion, authentic, like live in-person performances of people really playing their instruments and really having an emotional connection again.
Yeah.
Maybe good for some things, like elevator music or something, right, or whatever. But do you really want to sit in a TV screen and watch something that a machine made up, right?
I don't know. Yeah.
Just doesn't seem right.
And you can train the models, and there's controversy because if you're using the actual artist, to train the models,
somebody's going to get sued somewhere at some point. Right?
Yeah.
So nice.
What else? What other hobbies do you have right now?
Hobbies. I like to ride my bike, but I haven't been out yet because it's been too cold.
Right.
Yeah.
It's been a 5.5 month winter.
It's been it's
supposed to drop next week too.
Yeah.
So
the winter is never ending at this point.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're in the 4th winter of the year.
Yeah. I know.
It's wild.
Yeah. That's pretty much, obviously 3-year-old keeps us pretty busy.
Yes,
absolutely.
Yeah. So that's been quite an adventure.
Sure. So, using that as a backdrop, right? Investor now, got 9 investments, 3-year-old. Kind of what do you have a plan for what would be next, and going to keep doing that? Is there something else that maybe an itch you haven't scratched yet that you might?
It's a good question. I really thought I probably would teach for 2 years and then move on, right? But then we had a kid, and it's kind of the perfect job for having a child. And so I think I'll stick around for a while.
Yeah.
And then I think I've been very involved in the back end of the band process. And then Jeff and I have also been tossing around the idea of starting a studio out of our house because we have all the equipment already. Because they recorded and mixed the whole album at our house. And so he's been working with startups for a long time through Generator and Agronovus. And what if we did like a startup studio for musicians?
Oh, nice.
Not sure what the market size is for that, but it's an interesting way to use his startup skills and music talent for like a whole new crop of people.
Yeah.
So that could be another business opportunity too.
Very cool.
When you said that, I was thinking like backdrop music for video and, just like for startups, right?
Yeah.
That's, they maybe can't spend the money on certain things, right?
Oh, that's interesting. So we were originally thinking like first time artists that have never recorded before.
Yeah.
So he could like stop and say like, these are what these words mean. This is how this works. We wouldn't necessarily be a studio for like, your third or fourth album, but for your first album, you could take it slow. He knows how to play every instrument. So we could play backup for everyone and just like teach them the process of what it was like to record.
Right.
Yeah.
What do you do? Producing as well? Okay. That's a huge value, especially to a new artist.
Correct.
That might be really talented, but not know how to write a song.
Yeah. Because like, it's not necessarily like innate in everyone.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. Or even might be, but you haven't tried.
Yes.
Yeah.
Getting them to exercise that muscle.
Yeah. So that's probably where on the immediate future. And then, I don't know, my retirement career could be like owning a bookstore and a beach location.
Oh, I like the sounds of
You
that.
get 90 books for free.
You got me.
Right?
That's right. Angie's read books.
Yeah.
It's like,
I know,
I like
right?
it.
Wouldn't that be fun?
It would.
Yeah. In a little resort town somewhere. So we'll see how that goes.
Well,
we
that
got to
sounds
get
fun.
through high school first.
Yeah.
I think I told him this, that we went to St. Croix once, right? And we went on a catamaran, and the guy was I think he was from Indiana. And we just started talking. I said, how did you end up on a catamaran at St. Croix?
Yeah.
He said, I think he was 45 or something. And he said, I just decided one day I sold everything. He was single. I just sold everything, and I'd been here, and I bought a catamaran, and here I am. It was like he'd been there a decade.
And so is that what he did then?
That's what
Just
he
giving
did, full
tours?
time. Yeah.
Wow.
And it wasn't cheap. I get that right.
Yeah.
And that was even then. That was a long time ago. So, I mean, it's sometimes it's just, that's what we're going to do.
Yeah.
So it's okay.
Yeah. Maybe a little cobblestone street somewhere. Maybe it's not at the beach. I don't know. TBD.
Yeah, I like it though.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So I don't know. I'm not an idea entrepreneur. I'm not like,
What's that mean? What do you mean?
like there are some entrepreneurs that have like so many ideas all the time.
Right.
Like they just have a lot of ideas. That's not me. I'm an operator.
Operator.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you've been there, done that. So a lot of people have ideas, right?
Yeah. So I could maybe help people with their ideas.
Ideas don't pay the bills.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. That's really true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, either way, thanks for coming on
Of
and
course.
talking
Thanks
to
for
us.
having
Great to
me.
have you.
Yeah.
And have your story. It's always valuable to hear what happens behind the scenes, behind the brand, right?
Right.
So I
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me.
You
Thanks
bet.
for coming.
All right.